Hello everyone, Fanta here, you're watching FANTAVISION, and today is another Tales from Retail. And today I'm going to be discussing what I did with my coworkers outside of work, and did I really want to hang out with coworkers outside of work? Because there are a lot of people that you kind of just tolerate when you work with them because you have to, and it just makes the experience of working there a little bit more tolerable if you don't make a bunch of enemies, obviously. So I didn't really hang out with a whole lot of people, and that's not saying that I had a lot of people that were like that, like I did at Walmart. But at GameStop, I was so busy between school and work and my personal life and all the other friendships that I was still trying to maintain, the few I had left after high school and everybody moved their separate ways or got into hard drugs, and I went, I'm not doing that. It's a difficult time in your life, especially if you are, of course, going to college or even high school and working retail at the same time, because you've got all these new people, and some of these people really do want to hang out with you outside of work. And like I said, I hung out with probably one. Or you know what, two. I hung out with two of my coworkers at GameStop the entire 4 years I worked there. And this is with I don't even remember how many managers we had coming through, how many GAs. I mean, I guess I became friends with Adam. I live with Adam now, but I'd kind of known him sort of outside of work. I just became better friends with him when he worked there, and he was just like a part-time GA anyway. Yeah, besides that, I mean, I guess I made more friends and got to know more people that were customers than I did people that I actually worked with. I mean, I had most of my managers I didn't want to hang out with outside of work because, I mean, they were much older than me. They had families. I didn't have as much in common with them as I did my other coworkers or my assistant managers. Like my assistant store manager, I hung out with him. He was pretty cool. We had game nights, but then that kind of just petered off, and I got busier with college and stuff like that. But that happens. I mean, life happens. And we were still friends up until a little bit after the GameStop closed down. I'd still see him occasionally at Walmart because he started working there before I started working there. I don't think he was working there when I worked there, though. I think he started working somewhere else. But yeah, I'd still see him, and we were still friends, and I didn't really hang out with him anymore, but I still considered him a friend. And now, I mean, if I saw him again, I'd be like, hey, what's up, man? But, I don't know if I'd hang out with him. Maybe. I don't know. I'm so busy nowadays. It's hard to make time for friends that I still have here, which, again, it seems like they just keep, getting smaller and smaller and smaller, the amount of friends I have, because I keep moving everywhere, or, we just, I don't know, you just grow apart with people. And that's something you'll definitely learn throughout your life if you haven't already. I'm not trying to be depressing. I really am not. I did hang out with some people, mostly at GameStop. But you know what? I guess, I mean, I met Eric at Walmart, and that's about it. I did hang out with somebody else. We're going to call him Worthless McHoulihan. And Worthless McHoulihan, I thought he seemed pretty cool, but unfortunately, he was a pathological liar. He cheated on his wife, had a kid with the person he cheated on her with. It was some ex, so he had 2 kids with that person. It's just a complete disaster. So Worthless McHoulihan, he was part of an old channel that Eric and SPS and I were also on. But Worthless and SPS, they didn't have as much time. And I get this weird vibe from Worthless. He just, I don't know, he did kind of exude this weirdness before I knew all this about him. And then he just kept getting worse. He just kept getting worse the more I heard about him. And nowadays I'll see him at the grocery store because he works at a grocery store nearby, and he completely pretends he doesn't even know me. He's like a child. He's this immature, pathetic child that pretends he doesn't know me. It's how old are you that you have to pretend that you don't know somebody when you can't just interact with them civilly? It doesn't make any sense. Just be a civil human being. Just be nice to, it doesn't make any sense. We never exchanged any we never had any bad blood, really. Like, I just kind of stopped talking to him because I don't respect people that cheat on other people, and he was kind of being a prick to Eric. So I was like, fuck this. I'm not gonna talk to him anymore. Anyway, that was kind of a sidetrack, but I did hang out with him outside of work because he became part of this channel, and we all had something in common. We all enjoyed video games, and you think I would have a lot more people, in common with at GameStop, but really, not so much. They all had different personalities in such an extreme way. We had this manager that, I've gone through most of my coworkers and managers at this point, but you remember some were very, way straight edge when it came to the rules. Some of them were just really awkward. One guy I wanted to hang out with, but he was always busy, and he was in college, actually. He was also in college. He was taking a bunch of classes, so he was just as busy as I was, and he had a lot of personal stuff going on as well. And at Walmart, if we're just looking at Walmart, like I said, I didn't really like most of my coworkers. It's not because I'm just some asshole that judges everybody. It's because it's just, I don't know, I didn't have anything in common with them, or there were different personality traits that I wasn't a fan of. The guy that his main interest was taking drugs and talking about drugs and taking them at work and taking pills and making the resin stuff that a million people now have told me what it is and how you make it on that video, which is really funny. The chick that was pregnant and then cheated on her husband or something. I don't know the facts. It doesn't matter. I'm not giving the names of any of these people. I can just say what was said about them, and I could see it based on her personality. She was kind of, I don't know, thorny, prickly personality. I don't know. She just complained all the time. She was just not a fun person to be around. And once again, nothing in common. Like I said, Worthless McHoulihan, he was weirdish at the start, but he seemed cool enough. But it kind of, his facade peeled away, and he just got weirder and weirder and weirder up until the day I left. And I basically just didn't talk to him anymore. A lot of drama there. A lot of drama. Eric can talk about that if he wants to. Let's see. Steven, hanging out with Steven. That was awesome, but we so rarely worked together. And I would often, try to take a lunch with either Eric or Steven, but it was just so difficult because they knew we were friends, and because they knew we were friends, we couldn't be caught being 10 feet away from each other. It was so stupid. It didn't make any sense. I missed the golden age where Eric and Steven could just walk around the store with their magnets stuck to each other. It's what was that time period even? Why did I miss that? That doesn't make any sense. And then at the Chinese food restaurant, if you really want to go all the way back, I know that's not retail, but if we go all the way back to that, I, again, didn't hang out with anybody outside. Nothing in common again. That's the main thing, because I know a lot of people on here want to know how to make friends, how to form relationships with these coworkers, not necessarily romantic, but friendships with these coworkers. I'm always going to say this, I don't recommend a romantic relationship with the people that you work with. I'm telling you, it's not worth it, because I love in The Office, they talk about this exact thing. Aaron says, they never tell you how great it is after you, I don't remember the complete line, but she's basically saying that it's so great that you get to see the person that you once dated every single day, even after you've broken up, because you're stuck in that environment with these people. You're not going to just quit because the relationship went south. They're not going to quit because the relationship went south most of the time, because you both need the money. So you're stuck, and you're just in this weird space unless you're one of those 1% of people that can somehow be friends with that ex. And it's just, I don't know. I don't recommend that. I just don't. No. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm sure there will be plenty of other people that you'll meet outside of work. Or if you know that you're quitting, I guess you could see what happens. And you'd be like, okay, well, by the way, I'm also not working here anymore. And you can just date, and you'll be outside of the employment. You won't be, as they say, shitting where you eat. I don't recommend that. But if you really want to, I can't stop you. So a lot of the other people that were asking the same question, because a lot of people asked this, that's why I didn't credit one person. They were also wondering what I did with these coworkers outside of work. And it was basically just, normal stuff, just hanging out, playing video games. Went to their house. Like I said, I had board game night with one of them for a few weeks in a row. It became kind of a regular thing until I didn't have time anymore because my classes got harder or my schedule changed, something like that. Also, like I said, the whole YouTube channel thing, that was something that was a lot of fun. I mean, I know I said video games, but we were recording. I was trying to get a whole schedule going on. I was trying to get this whole thing in order. I was trying to manage everybody's schedules at the same time so we could all record together, which was rare. So sometimes we'd splinter off in groups of 2 and they'd, record some videos, and then I'd edit their videos. And sometimes they'd try to edit theirs, but they didn't quite know what they were doing, so the microphone sounded like shit. And it was this whole mess of a thing that I'm not going to go into. And I basically shut down the entire channel. I wasn't proud of anything on there. So I was like, I don't want this anywhere on the internet. I still have a lot of old videos out there, but those specifically, I was like, nah, it's a terrible name for a channel. It was just kind of a giant mess. Something that I know Eric and Steven did during the golden age a lot was go to the movies. And I did this a couple times with coworkers just because the movie theater was nearby, so we could easily go, oh, well, we're closing up right now, and there's a movie playing at this time. Do you want to go just see a movie? And everybody like, oh, yeah, sure, I'll go see a movie, or, oh, I'm busy. And just a couple of us would go, so that was a lot of fun. I feel like we should have done that more often than we did, but most of the time, when you're finishing your shift, you're just like, I just want to go home and unwind and relax, which is another reason why that you usually don't hang out with your coworkers, because you just spent all day with them. I know you're not having fun with these people most of the time. You're kind of all suffering together. And like I said, you do make friends with some of them, but at the end of the day, you've already been hanging out with these people. So there wasn't that inclination to go, oh yeah, by the way, do you want to come over after work? And then we'll hang out even more with most of these people. Like I said, there were some exceptions like Eric, Adam, my other assistant manager that I don't want to name because I don't have permission, obviously. And that's what I feel like really stops people the most from hanging outside of work, besides the clashing personalities, besides the not shared interests, is just the fact that you've already been hanging out with them. And then on your days off, I don't know, you're still trying to make time for everybody else in your life. And you almost feel like you don't need to make time for those people because you're going to see them again at work. Maybe that's just how I felt. I don't know. I mean, I'm not really big friends with those people still. I feel like in life you make a lot of, I guess you'd call them acquaintances. There's work friends, there's school friends, but those people usually stay in their realm. Like when I was going to college, I would have friends in almost every class. I would have at least one person I could talk to just kind of keep myself sane. I would try to get to know the people around me so I could help them out if they needed notes. They could help me out. You just kind of form these bonds, but it's only lasting for that class. I'd maybe hang out with them once outside of class, but really not that often, So that's the same thing with work. I had work friends. I considered them friends, but I didn't really see them outside of work. We could have a great conversation all day at work, at GameStop. But I don't know. I just didn't hang out with them a whole lot. And I feel like a lot of people are going to have this same thing go on in their work. Let me know in the comments section if you feel the same way I do about that. And it's not because we're forming these mutually beneficial connections just to use each other. I feel like we really are friends. It's somehow, I don't know, it just doesn't carry over to either the next class or outside of work, or if they quit, you usually don't see them again and then they're gone, even if they were a great work friend. Because just life gets in the way, and I feel like that's kind of the answer to a lot of different things in life, is that life will just get in the way. You'll be planning to do something, and then, out of nowhere, there's just all of these other responsibilities and things that you also have to worry about. So you're not able to fulfill those other plans. You're not able to make more friends at this time because you only have so much time in the day, and you're already frantically trying to keep all these other relationships afloat, and you've got all these plates spinning, and some plates, you can't always pick up more. You only have so many hands, you only have so many sticks, you only have so many hours in the day, you only have so many days in the week. And you really just have to divide up your time as best you can. And sometimes you really need that alone time. And because of that need for alone time, at least for me, I definitely do need some time where it's just me. And I feel like that time is in editing, or sometimes I'll be, playing World of Warcraft Classic now, and I'll just be playing by myself. You just get that alone time where you can kind of self-reflect. When you factor all these different things in, it's just that you've got limited time. It's not like you don't like a lot of these people, unless you're working at Walmart, and got temporary friends. That's just how it is. Some people don't like having temporary friends. They won't even, try to make friends with them to begin with. And I feel like that's not the right approach. I mean, some of these temporary friends became full-time friends. Adam was a temporary friend when we worked together at GameStop, but we just had a personality and interest. We shared both of those things. We both had kind of similar personalities and similar interests. So we just worked out. Same with Eric. And same with... I didn't work with Steven, though. I just kind of randomly became friends. I'm trying to remember when the hell we became friends. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I know it was a little bit weird, but I had a lot of people requesting this throughout various videos, and I just wanted to address it. I like to try to address all of your guys' ideas, and I'll continue to do so, so keep dropping them down in the comments. I've been getting a lot of stories from you guys. I'm putting them in a document. I'm going to start reading them. I haven't had time to read them. I basically just had time to start compiling them and going through them. I have so many old stories too that I'm going to need to get to. I need to get permission. But I'm just going to kind of do a blanket statement here. Please just say in your submission that I have permission to talk about it on camera. Just make it easy for me. That way I don't have to ask everybody, is it okay if I do an episode on this? Because that's what I always do. I always want to ask permission before I use your story in this. And I'll always credit you however you want. If you want to remain anonymous, if you want your Twitter, whatever the hell it is, let me know. It's your story. You deserve the credit for it. And yeah. So thanks again, everybody, for submitting your ideas, your stories, for supporting me and continue to watch the series. And as always, have a fantastic day. See you guys. Real quick, before I go, drinking Peanut Butter Milk Stout by Belching Beaver Brewery. Pretty delicious. Whenever it rains outside or it's dark or it's kind of chilly, I like to drink a stout. It just feels very wintry, that type of beer. It's very, I don't know if viscous is the right word. It's kind of like a thicker beer, whereas an IPA is more of a lighter, more vibrant, fruity beer that feels a lot more like a summer type thing, where it's hot out and you're looking for something refreshing. Whereas this is like, it's like thick and it's full of warmth and it's just delicious. There's all that crap on the bottom. A bunch of like weird brown specks at the bottom. I'm assuming that's supposed to be in there.